What's up, squirrels? The holidays are here, and as you can tell, we're getting squirrely. And that also means that most of Yins and myself, all of us are gonna be needing and wanting to buy some gifts. So here's my top 10 gifts for the holidays, 2020. So we're gonna break these down into or maybe two tiers. One is like cheaper and one's not so cheap. But nothing here really is going to break the bank because I think giving gifts of extraneous pricing to people who may want something slightly different is always a bad move. You never wanna show up with the wrong colored handbag. Trust me, people. So, with that being said, our first product that I recommend is for any workshop, and that's for anyone who glues things, is the GLU-BOT. So we use GLU-BOTs because we buy our glue in like 1 gallon or 5 gallon containers. And it gives us an opportunity to have those things all over the place. And it also eliminates my arch nemesis of glue, the hardened glue top. What you find yourself in if you're in a workshop all the time is you're like literally ripping the tops off your glue bottles because they have dried glue in them, and then you end up ruining them and get really inconsistent glue lines, things get sloppy, dirty, you ruin pants, you ruin all kinds of stuff. So we use the GLU-BOTs to eliminate all that fun because of the way they're built, they don't get the buildup at the ends. The big guy will run you about 15 bucks and the small one will run you about 10. Both are available on Amazon with links in the description. Our number 2 item is called a bench cookie. As delicious as these might look, they don't actually taste very good.
You're gonna die.
I am gonna die. So these are for having things stand off of your bench. I like this brand specifically. Bought these on Amazon and they're like 15 bucks for an 8-pack or 4 of them for 10. Definitely get the 8. But they keep things from sliding around. Traditionally, you'd use a standoff that's like one of these little triangles, but what I've noticed is they mar your work, which is no bueno, and they also slide around on your bench, which sucks. So these little bench dogs come with an insert here if you want a little pointed standoff for finishing or whatever it might be, but we're throwing these underneath almost any work we put down on the surface that has a finished side or something that we already sanded or that is ready to go into finish, so it's not scratching up everything. They're super easy and affordable, and I know anyone with a shop is always glad to have at least a dozen of these on hand. Number trace, damn, I'm not good at Spanish, is going to be for, more specifically kind of for the woodworker, but that is going to be a card scraper. Now this looks like just a chunk of metal, but it actually has this like little burr on the edge, and what it does is it helps with flattening, kind of, I should say, what it helps with is smoothing surfaces and hardwoods. Works best on hardwoods. But it's a really good, versatile tool, and it's not that expensive. It's only 15 bucks for a 2-pack. I have the DFM Toolworks, the 5-inch here with my logo on them because I'm fancy like that. But you can snag those up on Amazon. I also have a couple different variations. These are from Lee Nielsen. This one's pretty rigid, and then I have a pretty flexible one. And then there's also out there in curved shapes for getting into curves and stuff. If you're a woodworker, you use a bunch of card scrapers all the time, probably. And they're a great gift to give because you can never have enough of them, at least in my experience. My 4th recommendation for a nice little stocking stuffer, smaller gift, is going to be a mini combination square, or a mini square of any kind. Most woodworkers are familiar with the 12-inch combination square, and that's great. They're all over every workshop in the world, I would think. But the mini comes in handy, one, because it fits in almost any pocket you got, shirt pocket, chest pocket, belly pocket, whatever. And it's really nice for any sort of shouldering or making measurements in places that you don't need something gigundous like this. This one is made by Starrett. This one's like 75 bucks. But Empire, who makes this bigger guy, I have a smaller one that I used for years. They're a 6-inch model. I just think it's at my house or somewhere else. And it works phenomenal. It's just really nice to have that smaller option. And I know most people have this one, but they don't have this one. So I think it's a great gift option. And the only other thing to add is that the smaller Empire or a couple of the other brands out there are only like $10, $15. So you can get into it for pretty cheap. And then they're really nice and convenient to have. The combination though, you're looking for the 45-degree and the 90-degree edge. I prefer this. A lot of people like the double one too. Whichever one you think your significant other or the person you're purchasing for or yourself might prefer. So the fifth thing I'm going to recommend this year for gift giving is going to be ear protection, but specifically this set of ear protection, these WORKTUNES from 3M. So myself and all the guys in the shop, we all have a pair of these. One, because we all just really like them. Two, they don't require the removal of anything battery-wise in order to turn them on and off because they are Bluetooth and they do play your music or your audiobook or whatever it might be in your headphones, which we all really like and enjoy. They also do a great job of eliminating noise outside of what you're listening to. They're nice and big, and I think they're just really sturdy. I've had them for a couple years now, and then all the guys really enjoy them. I think they're a great purchase, and that's why I'm recommending them. You can snag them up on Amazon for about 50 bucks, and they sometimes go on sale too. I actually bought mine at Costco. So keep an eye out, but the 3M WORKTUNES, great purchase, great gift. So real quick before we get into the rest of the list, I wanted to tell you guys about something new we're doing here that we're calling the Weekly Punch. It's my brand new newsletter where I'm going to be talking about, things like tips, my favorite books and music, what's going on, some of my favorite food, cocktails, recipes, things like that, and also sharing some of the people in the community that are supporting the channel that the guys here and myself absolutely love and enjoy. So if you're interested in getting more Ask Clownery amazing information like that, I've got a link down in the description. You can sign up for the email newsletter and get the Weekly Punch delivered to you every single week. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Now to number 6. So number 6 is, one second. A good pair of boots. So anyone who works in the shop outside, anywhere fun or enjoyable, deserves to have something good on their feet. As my father always said, you want to pay for all the things that go under you. Your mattress, your shoes, and I won't say the last part. But with that being said, my favorite boot to date is the Timberland Pro Alloy Toe Gridworks. We all wear composite or alloy toes here in the shop just to protect them from dropping anything on them. 1, 2, it's got a really durable sole and it's made of a really high quality leather. I've had a couple pair of them, and the only reason I've ever needed to replace anything is because 1, I wore them to spray the entire interior of my house and they were no longer leather, they were white because of that. And then the other time is I exploded a can of paint in the shop and then I needed to get some new ones. But I absolutely love them, extremely comfortable for all day wear in and out of the shop. I highly suggest any sort of high quality boot is always a phenomenal gift. This boot specifically is about 150 bucks, and I definitely think they're worth it. I think if you talk to anyone who's in the shop all the time or on their feet, you can't go wrong with a good boot. So now we're getting into the gifts that are a little bit more expensive, but definitely worth it. Number 7 is going to be what's called a block plane. So there's a couple variations of this, but the Wood River block plane is a pretty affordable and a really, really solid option. They come in the regular and what's called the low angle block plane. And they both run about, I would say, 120 bucks. And you can buy them together too. The applications for these are kind of endless in a workshop, and they get used a ton. If you want to go to kind of the holy grail of block planes, you're going to go up to this Lee Nielsen. It's called a rabbiting block plane that the blade goes continually side to side on both edges and lets you get into corners. I think this one runs you about $180 to $200 depending on availability. These get a ton of use in my shop, and when I actually upgraded to a solid set of block planes, I found myself using them a ton. And they're a great option for anyone that has a wood shop or any sort of workshop that works on wood. I highly suggest it. I would love if I would have gotten these as gifts and not bought them for myself. So that's why I'm recommending them to you guys. All right, number 8 is going to be something that I think gets overlooked a lot, and that's going to be a quality straight edge. Here in the shop, you probably noticed we've got a ton of these red tools. They are made by woodpeckers, and we are big fans of what they do and what they make. They make high-end precision measuring tools, and this is one of them. This is their 36-inch straight edge. You'd invest in one of these because you want something that's going to be true, it's going to stay flat, and it's going to be accurate. You can get cheaper versions and get by fine, but when you want to invest in an upgrade, this is a great option. For about 60 bucks, you can get this 36-inch straight edge, and you'll never need another one. They make them in a variety of sizes, and like I said, this is a 36-inch. We've got the 24-inch, and I also believe we have a 48-inch floating around somewhere maybe. Big fans of woodpecker tools, especially when you're getting into the more precise work, and you can't go wrong with something as pretty as this. Number 9 is going to be one of those things that you can never have enough of in any workshop, and that is clamps. Clamps come in all shapes and sizes, and to be blatantly honest, it doesn't really matter. We use legitimately every single style of clamp that we have in the shop. Everything from squeeze clamps to, this is called a single handle gear clamp, I-beam clamps, K-body clamps, parallel clamps, F-style clamps, all of them get used and you can never have enough. The holidays are the perfect time to find bundles of these clamps available, as well as specials. So I'm gonna try to find you some links in the description that will have some of these available, but you might have to do some hunting yourself on these ones. These can range in anything from price to like 50 bucks for a set to like a couple $100 for sets of like 4 or 6. But you can't go wrong with getting your significant other or your shop person more clamps. Can never have enough clamps. And before we get to our last item, 1, subscribe to our channel because I love you and I want you to be able to get all of our stuff first. 2, we've got new merch available for the holidays, limited time. Get squirrely, you filthy animal. And then we also got my boobs. Ooh, we've got a holiday ass clown on your shirt. This one's pretty sweet. Check them out, links down in the description. Now, our last item. This thing is the most underestimated thing I think we've put in the shop in the last 2 years, and that's gonna be a cordless shop vac. We find no less than 15 different ways to use a cordless shop vac that we never thought we would in the past, now that we have one. I actually have 4 of these. I keep 2 at the house, 1 at the camp, and I use them for like cleaning the truck or cleaning out my grill and all kinds of stuff that when you don't have access to a plug, they're just amazing to have. For cleaning cars, they're awesome. And then you can get into this model from Rigid for about 125 bucks. But this thing is just much easier to wield around and to use on all kinds of stuff. Keeping your saw tops clean, keeping dust and debris off of surfaces, whatever it might be. It's just really nice to have a small, compact, cordless shop vac in the shop. We wouldn't have known that if we didn't get this one about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And I know myself and the guys really love it. And we didn't think we would. So that's why I'm recommending it to you, and that's why it's number 10 on our list. And that is gonna be a wrap on my top 10 things, gifts, whatever you wanna call them, for 2020. If you didn't like this, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see more of our clownery coming on around here. Get some merch, support the channel, and then I will see you on this video right here, because this one's epic. You're gonna love it.